So like, if you come to me and your attitude is, man, I can't make a game, I'm not a good artist. First off, you're gonna make me rant and you're gonna trigger me on stream. But second off, like, if that's your core belief, you're not gonna make a game. So I wish that people would change their core beliefs and just realize that, like, you know, I don't need to be a good artist. I don't need to be a good programmer. And I truly believe, like, I'm the gold standard for fulfilling that statement. I do not consider myself a good artist. Never, like, I'm not good at programming. Like, if you know how to do an if-else statement, which anyone can do that, you can make a game. You just gotta make it.
Tsundown is a fully independent studio founded by Matt Young. After following his dream through a failed Kickstarter, we sit down with him again to reflect on the changes he's made that's led him to find the successes he's found today. It's only a short time before his game, The Feathered Serpent, is released. We talk about what going full-time looks like, the sacrifices and successes along the way, and how that journey can look different for everyone. How you doing, Matt? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm great. I'm tired though. Coming up with a self-imposed deadline. We're coming up on it 11 days from now, and yeah, I'm just not as good at planning things as I thought. I'm like, this activity should take me a day, and then the activity does not take a day. This is just coming to me. It's like, have you heard the story of the truck that gets stuck in the snow? Okay. They can't go anywhere, and so they load on a bunch of weight into the back of the truck so that it gets more weighted, and then it gets traction and it can go. Okay. It's like, hey, sometimes you need the extra weight and pressure to like get going, you know? Yeah. Sometimes you step in the snow, you're like, I'm not going anywhere, I can't get my game done. And then it's like, all right, dude, 4 months, your whole life's changing. You got to go back to work in a month, and your game has to launch in 11 days. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the rocks. Let's go.
How long after college did you start The Feathered Serpent then?
Well, I started The Feathered Serpent in 2020. Dropped out of college 2017. Looking at like 3 years. And I really didn't do a whole lot of game dev after that too. I think it was just really disheartening for me to like feel like the only way I could get into the game dev industry was with a college degree, and I was like, I'm just not, like, I just can't. After 3 years, I was ready to revisit it. Came back. I love Heartbeast. He used to do game maker tutorials. He's the person who taught me how to make games pretty much. And I was like, okay, like, I was like, let me get into game dev again. I downloaded Godot. I went through his course, and in the span of like 1 week and a half, I made the core game, like the base game for the Feathered Serpent, following this tutorial. I just fell in love with Godot. I was stoked. I made it. I started making devlogs. I didn't even know what the game was going to be, but I was like, this is cool. I want to make a game. I just slowly just kept working on it, and I like had a vision for the game. I probably after like 6 months, I was locked in. I saw the game that I have now. I know it sounds cheesy, but I literally was like, oh, I see the picture. But then looking back on those videos, it's like a hard jump. It's like my brain was like, I was looking at like the future, yeah, and I'm looking at what I have now. It's like, oh my gosh, I love my wife, because in that state where my game was like not good, I was like, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter, and I told her, and I'm like showing her, I'm like, check out my game, and she's like looking at it, and she's like, so you're gonna raise money for this, and it's gonna be this big thing, and I'm like, yeah, like this is it. No, this is like, and you know what? I gotta give it to her. She trusted me, and I burned her way bad. I was like, this is it. I do the Kickstarter, and you know, we had had arguments about it, but she's like, you know what? I trust you. And then it just failed. It was a glorious failure. I was super humbled by like my friends supporting me, but like I had like 12 backers, and 2 of them had supported at like the $10 tier or something, and the other 10 were like my friends and family, and it just felt bad to me. I was like, I just feel super like imposter syndrome, like my friends are kind of like just charity giving me money, like, oh, okay dude, here you go. I don't know what it was. It was not depression, but I just did not, something died in me when the Kickstarter failed. I was like, I can't work on it. And it also resulted in like awkwardness with like my wife at the time. She wasn't my wife, she was my girlfriend, but she was like, what just happened here? Like, you were like super set on this, it didn't work, and now what are you doing? And so those are some tough conversations, and it was a tough reality check. And I just went back. I was like, well, I have to like work. So I just like started doing like odd jobs, like construction jobs. I built like a tree house for a super rich family. That was a fun job. I just stopped working on the game. I probably took a break I came back to my game when I got married. I'd been working on it a little bit, but I'm newly married. I moved out for the first time with my wife, and I was like, okay, I need a job. So I went and worked at a factory. During that time, so I take this healthy break away from like my game. I'm just working at the factory. I actually designed an entire board game at the factory. Yeah, so like something goes wrong. I have like 5 minutes where I'm just sitting in the factory line, nothing's happening. And I would sketch out on like little pieces of paper, like game ideas. I quit that job after a year. It's funny, it's really funny. I have this pattern. It's around October, November. The job I'm in, I quit. And then I work on my game for 5 months. I quit and I started working on my game. And I was like, this is it. I saved up money to work on it for like 5 months. I'm like, I'm all in. And let me tell you, I was not all in. I really just let myself down. I think I broke trust within myself because I really did give myself like 5 months, but I definitely kept letting myself down with like not feeling like I worked on it enough. And then I got pushed up against the wall again where it's like, okay, I'm running out of money. I'm going into a lot of debt. I need to get a job. And so I go and I get a job, pesticide applicator, killing bugs. It pays nice, but once again, it's the same story. I work a job, it drains me. I come home from the job, there's nothing left for me to give. Like I can't give more. And so that job, I didn't quit it, but that job ends. It's a seasonal job. It's like, well, I've saved up enough money to last until December. I was like, okay. And I really thought about it. I was like, okay, I can either make my board game work and I can run a Kickstarter for my board game, or I can run a Kickstarter for my video game. You know, I felt really bad about my game. I hadn't touched it in like a year. It's hard to come back to a project and re-immerse yourself and make, oh, this is what my code's doing. These are the bugs in my game. Like, it's like, it's hard. It's intimidating. And so I was like, board game, 100%. I have a whole Kickstarter page made for my board game. I run all these numbers and it's $40,000 to print the game for 400 people. So 400 people back the game and buy it. $40,000 and to ship it out to everyone only in the United States. So even if I block out every other country, just the US, I would break even. I wouldn't make any money and I would have to raise $40,000. And I'm looking at that number and I'm like, that's not gonna happen. So I like doom spiral for maybe 2 or 3 days. I'm just like, oh man, this sucks. Like, and then yeah, I just get like a little thing goes off in the back of my brain. It's like, you have a video game. You know, I could run a Kickstarter for my video game and I wouldn't need $40,000. And so then I'm like, okay, I was like, how much would I need? I'm like, well, that's an interesting question. Good question, Matt. And then I'm like, well, how long is it going to take me to finish? So for the first time, I planned out the rest of my game 100%. And I looked at it and I went, okay, I bet I can be done in February. This is just what I thought to myself. I was like, okay, so I need to raise money to last me throughout the whole month of January, the whole month of February. And then I told myself, I said, look, I suck with planning dates. So I was like, I'm going to give myself a month, right? March. So I need to raise enough money to pay for 3 months of living. Like, okay. I was like, that's $5,000. And then I go, all right, I can do that. And so I just, once I clicked in my brain, I can make the game. That's a doable number. I all-ined it. Like, let me do this. So that's when I started. I told myself, I said, this is going to be different than last time. I was like, I'm putting in 8 hours a day. So I'm going to keep myself accountable and stream for exactly 8 hours and make sure I'm hitting that 8-hour mark, 8 consistent hours working on my game. And that helps so much. You know, it just grew from there. I praise the community, grew from the stream. I started posting devlogs again and I kind of let everyone know, I'm like, hey, like I'm going to run a Kickstarter. And then I ran the Kickstarter the second time through. It was successful and I have my thoughts on that, but gaining success on Kickstarter really does come down to how good this sucks. I hate this answer. It's marketing. Okay? But it also is like first impressions, like platforms like YouTube or TikTok or Steam, like all of these things, they want you to be big. They do. They're not like the reason you're like, man, I just need to get lucky. I need a big break. No, I think I've shared this with you. YouTube told me, they said, look, you're short. They said, we put it on 330,000 people's landing page. And they said, guess what? 2% of people clicked on it. And I was like, that's on me. That's what, like, YouTube, you did more than I could have ever asked for. Kickstarter, look at the analytics. Like, most people click off a video in like 10 seconds. What are your first 10 seconds like? If you look at my other Kickstarters, why did they fail? Go look at the first 10 seconds of them. But I'm like, you just analyze it and you go, okay, what is the message I'm sending? Am I showing off the game? Is it easy to understand? Does it get to the gameplay? Does the gameplay look good? Like a big thing for my game is like dinosaurs. You look back at the first Kickstarter for the Feathered Serpent, there's no dinosaurs. Like they're the lamest enemies. I was like, what's fun? Lizard people, let's go. Put them in the game. Dinosaurs, let's go. And so I'm serious. Like I revamped the the first area of my game, I think I've redone it 4 times now, just to make the enemies cooler, to make it look better, to make the experience seem better. So to boil it down in a concise sentence, like, you need your page to do all the things that are good. Go look at other Kickstarter pages, look at the first 10 seconds of their trailer. Why does that suck you in? How is the first, like, when I scroll down, what's the first thing I see? Is it a GIF of your game? Is it a link to play the game? Like, most people, it's like they have analytics for how far people scroll down your page. Like, there's so much information, you just gotta use it. I genuinely think the only reason my Kickstarter succeeded was because of Twitch. Like, getting a community on Twitch, getting tons of eyes on it, like, that helped. So yeah, the biggest thing I tell people is, look, you need to practice talking all the time. And my advice is to start a gaming channel with 0 intent to have it blow up. I've been doing gameplay videos for 8 years. I just do. I would do them daily, and I would just practice talking, either talking about what's going on in the game. Like, the rule is you can't have more than 3 seconds of silence. And I just transfer that skill of talking, filling the space, to streaming. And the reason why I say do a gameplay video is because you don't have chat. The goal is to practice talking and be able to talk without external prompts. I mean, a lot of it is luck. Like, I think I streamed for like a month before, like, I was only pulling 1 or 2 viewers. But the thing is, eventually, if you're streaming and you're consistent, you're gonna get eyes on you. Someone's gonna raid you. Like, I raid someone every single stream. I'm sending 50 viewers to someone at the end of every stream, and I'll click on people with 1 to 2 viewers. No, a lot of people think I need someone to talk to me in my chat before I can talk. You know, I pull 50 viewers. Sometimes there's only 2 people talking. But like, if I click on a stream and it's me and I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, guys, so guess what? College sucks, okay? Like, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, this guy's spicy. Like, they click on the stream and like, I'm ranting about something. And so what happened with me is, you know, Jonathan Blow, the creator of Braid, I'm streaming, I'm talking, I'm doing my thing. He raised me with 1,400 people. And it was huge because I'm just saying, I've developed the personality, I can talk. So I retained like, you know, like 130 viewers for the whole stream. I mean, yeah, 900 of them left, but I'm like, that's gonna happen to you. That's gonna happen to you. It really is. I think you've heard the old saying where it's like, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah, it's like, it's like, you could look at me and be like, oh, you got raided by Jonathan Blow, you got lucky. It's like, or like, I just cultivated the stream and the presence. So yeah, if you want to make it big on Twitch, you have to engage, you have to be engaging. And my rule that I follow is I try and not let more than 3 seconds of silence go by. Not perfect. That's the rule I try and go by. I just really want to drive home the importance of motivations. There's a really cool book called Start With Why. And the whole point of the book is it goes over some of the most successful companies and successful products. And it shows how their founders started with the question why. Like, what were their whys for doing it? And none of their whys were ever, I want to get rich and make a lot of money. So the thing about like my game, like how do I work so much like on my game? I think just 2 days ago, I put in, it was 14 working hours. I went to a real job and then I came home and still put in like 6 hours on the game. Like, and you can go see my stream catalog, like look through old streams and it's like 10 hours, 12 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. So like, where does that come from? Because people always talk about like burnout and I lose motivation. And I think it comes down to a faulty core reason of why. Like, your why is in the wrong place if you're experiencing like those emotions. I think once you have a solid why, it's not gonna feel like work. And that's not to say, it's not like a blanket statement, like you're never gonna feel burnout, but like you're gonna be able to work hard and you're not gonna go through these growing pains of like, oh, this sucks. If you look at my game, you can tell when I shift to it's about the money to it's about the game. And then when I switch to it's about the game, I found success. When I'm streaming, I've tried streaming multiple times in my life. I want to get big on stream. It's only when I let go and went, I don't care, then I have a community. I think it's a principle in life that if you're constantly like, I just need this one thing to be happy, I just need this, like you're not gonna get it. This is the last thing. It's just like when all you want to do is be happy and you're focusing on being happy and I'm just so sad, I need to do anything that makes me happy. That's not what makes you happy. They've proven the thing that makes you happy is focusing on helping other people. So it's like, I just think that principle applies in more ways than people realize. And if you just fix your why, fix your reason for the game, you'll get there. Like my reason for the game, like my why, what happened, what changed, I thought to myself, well, it would be so cool if like I lived on forever for my kids and my grandkids, but through my game, genuinely. So like in my game, when you play it, it has all the foods that I ate during the time period that I made the game. Some of my favorite foods. They may not fit. It's like takes place in ancient Aztec time, There's Coke and there's lentils. It's a white bowl of lentils. Why? Because I love these Costco lentils and I stick them in a bowl. All the NPCs in my game, they all have personality quirks and traits and struggles that I've had in my own life. And I absolutely, the 25th of March, if you play through my game start to finish, you are gonna know who I am as a human being. And I'm like, imagine in like 150 years, I'm dead. And my grandkids go, dude, great-great-grandpa made a video game? And they're like, what? It's for a PC? And they like bust out a PC and they like dust it off and they're like, we gotta play it with a keyboard and mouse, bro. And they're like, and they play it and they're like, dude. And they're like, wow, this is like before AI could make this stuff. Yeah, man, he made it himself. And it's like, they could like scan a QR code on my tombstone and play the game. So the game totally shifted. Oh, sorry. The game totally shifted. And it's like, yeah, dude, this is me. This literally unapologetically is me. The game is dinosaurs. It's over the top violence and blood. It's my favorite. It's a weird combination of my favorite games. And it's like, even to the small details in the game, it's me. So that's a way better why than I want money. So that's what that's just what I want to end on. Figure out your why. My game's a Feathered Serpent. It comes out the 25th of March, unless Steam screws me over. They've done it twice to me already. I think I'm like blacklisted by them. I'm serious. But if everything it goes, I'm putting it in before the 25th. If it's like 2 days late, that's not on me. But 25th, Steam, the Feathered Serpent, it's coming out. You can play the demo for free. The demo is the entire first area of the game and then some. That's really it. And then if you want to stop by my stream, you'll find me talking about, yeah, you'll catch me talking about anything. You can, I'm serious, go type in like a buzzword. It's really funny. Just be like, hey man, is college a good idea? You'll set me off. It'll be wonderful. The stream is Tsundown, by the way. TSUNDOWN.
All of Matt's links are going to be below, including his Steam page and his Twitch. Be sure to check it out and support the heck out of this game that's coming out. We'll see you next time.